Now, hey, we're live. Sorry about that. I had to. It wasn't connecting over, so I had to like totally redo it. So let me fix this real quick, and then we'll get started. Upcoming. Hopefully, I don't delete the wrong one. I'll do that later. Let's see. I'll just change this real quick, and then we'll get started. All right. There we go. Today we're going to talk about. Sorry about that. Everybody hear me okay? I just had some technical difficulties there, and normally don't have that problem. But today we're going to talk about the 31 limited versus the 35 Sigma Art Series f1.4. I had both of them. Before we do that, let's talk about a couple of years ago. It's been that long. I talked about a meetup, a Pentax meetup in the Great Smoky Mountains, because here in East Tennessee, I never see any other Pentax users. So I thought I would do a meetup, and then of course all the pandemic stuff started, so I had to cancel it. They closed down the national park and whatnot. So I'm thinking here in the summer, maybe I'll try it again and try to get some other Pentaxians in the Great Smoky Mountains for some just kind of like a meetup or whatnot. So tell me what you think about that. If you are willing to do that, and I could schedule something, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so here is if you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the chat, and I've got it going. So hopefully everything is seen. If you're watching this later, the chats don't show up for like 12 hours. So I've been doing these spur of the moment. So here is the 31 limited on the Pentax K1 Mark II. So you can see it there. It's pretty heavy lens if you haven't used it before. The 31 limited is a lot smaller. I actually think this 35 actually is more in scale to the camera, since the camera is already heavy. I did make up a list of pros and cons. I did sell my 31 limited. I'll go into that later. But I've had this lens, this Sigma, like three times. I had it on my Canon system, and I had it on my original K1 when I had it as well. I did make a little list to go through all the pros and cons against both of these lenses, and I kind of lost it. So I wrote it right before this thing. I remembered all this. I've had the total on the Sigma. I've probably had it 3 years. I've had several different copies, and then the 31 limited, I had it for a year, because I was thinking back, should I buy this 35 art series or should I buy the 31 limited, because I always wanted to try that out. I never tried it out before. I just enjoyed the Sigma so much, I just kept on buying it again whenever I thought I needed it. So yeah, okay, let's get into it. I'll talk about the pros and cons of this 31 or 35. I'm going to do that much probably. The 35 has a hood that pulls off, has a bigger filter thread. It's a bigger lens. It weighs a lot more. I did break one of these, and I had to send it back. Why? Because it has, if you go into manual focus here and you go back and forth, it doesn't like hold you. It doesn't hold you when it stops. So when I was doing video, that was the problem. I was doing video, so I'd try to pull it past the infinity focus and would just keep on turning it. So I had it under warranty, so it was fixed for free, but it doesn't it doesn't lock. When you go past it will just keep on turning. So it stretched out the bands or whatever are in here in this Sigma, because it doesn't stop. So I'm not going to be using this for video anymore because I'll probably have that problem again. This lens goes down to f16, which is kind of weird. There's not many. Most lenses go down to f22, and you're saying, Lee, well, not many people use f22 because of diffraction and all that. I understand that, but it's just kind of odd. I'd like to have it there if I need it. If I don't have a ND filter, it's nice to have that if I want to do it like a long exposure or whatnot. Let's see here. As far as build construction here on the 35, sorry about that. You can tell solid metal back. I mean, it should be for this price. Both of these lenses are around the same price new. The 31, I think, is like $100 more. But on the used market, they're both around $575. The build quality on this one is like metal. It's like really, really nice. You can see there. And you'll see reviews that people say these lenses aren't sharp. Both of these lenses are extremely sharp. I'll go over why I think they are saying that they're not sharp here in a second. Yeah, of course, it said that it did, like the original K1, it rubbed up on here and made a mark, but it wasn't any big deal. It looks like I thought the K1 2 and the original K1 were the same. I think it is slightly different in here, so it doesn't touch at all. Appearances there. So, and I think that is the sole reason why Sigma just stopped making lenses for Pentax, is just that they had to do a correction on that lens just so it would fit on the Pentax system, but it wasn't an issue. I mean, it was like the very slightest mark, and I guess they just said, we're out. We're not making Sigma lenses for Pentax anymore, which I don't like at all, because this lens is really, really nice. Any of these art series lenses are really good if you use them before. All right, before I get into the 31, I want to talk about, hey Hans, I wanted to talk about both these lenses. Both of these lenses, the 31 and the 35, are optimized for full frame. And yes, you could use them on a crop sensor camera, but they really, really shine on a full frame camera. I mean, I've used this on the K3 Mark III. Is it good? Yes, it's great, but it's not nearly as good as it is on the K1 Mark II. So, I mean, there's just something about that when you have that, wide open aperture on a full frame of f1.4, super shallow depth of field, 3D look, it's just a lot better. So if you're interested in buying these lenses and you're buying them for a crop sensor camera, I would say upgrade to a K1 first. And that's my opinion about that. But they're still good. But they really shine on a full frame camera. It's just what I'm saying here. From the Southern Hemisphere, hey, how's it going? Now we could talk about the 31 limited. Like I said, both of these lenses are sharp, and I'm going to show you why I think some people say they're not that sharp, or they're whatever. Let's talk about 31. So it is a lot lighter than this. This Sigma is almost double the weight. So if you're looking to, like, since the K1 is already pretty heavy, you want something light, and you might be looking for something for silver, it'll match it. It will fit on this camera, but it does seem slightly unbalanced compared to this. This seems more balanced. And it only goes down to f1.8 instead of f1.4. You're thinking, oh, that's not that much difference. That's just 0.4. But actually it is. It is. You get like that f1.4 just gives like more like boom to it. Let's see. As far as build quality, which one do I think is better? I've looked this up, and I think all the limited are weather resistant, but they don't have the WR on them. I'm almost positive on that. Somebody can answer that. I didn't take the 31 out in the weather, but it seemed like it could do fine with that. It does have, it's a little wider. It's 31 millimeters. So if you're looking for a lens that's slightly a little bit more landscapey or wide open, and it does go down to f/22. So if you don't have your neutral density filter around, you might get a little bit of unsharpness being at f/22, but it's there if you need it. But the only thing about it is if you're using it as a landscape lens, it doesn't have a detachable hood. So you have to come up with some sort of system that will work with that 31. If you're just tuning in, I sold the 31, and so that's why I don't have it here with me. And I talked earlier about not these lenses. Somebody actually asked this on one of the Facebook groups about using a 31 on their APS-C camera, and I'm like, what? I didn't respond, but I'm like, why are you? They were wanting to do portraits with it. I'm thinking, why are you thinking about buying a 31 to do portraits? On APS-C, it's like, I don't know, it just seems like a waste of money. We could get the 75 millimeter, which is excellent, and a lot cheaper. if that's your main photography, why are you going to use a 31? I mean, the field's wide open. I mean, you could do what you want, but it's just, you get the compression. I mean, there's videos, or you could just forums on why a more telephoto lens is better for portrait photography. There's more compression around it. You don't want all this, like we have here, all this wideness around it. I mean, you could do that for creativity, but kind of proof is in the pudding. Those lenses, like an 85 millimeter and 135 millimeter, that's why portrait photographers have always had those lenses. That's what they're for. So I wouldn't be, I mean, you could do what you want. I wouldn't be buying a wider angle-ish, or on the standard wide angle thing for portrait photography. I guess when I'm talking about the wide, I'm gonna get hates about this, right? No, 35 millimeter. I actually like it better than 50 millimeter. Uh-oh. Yep. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of 50 millimeters lenses out there. And how many photographs have been taken with that 50 millimeter? Just about everything. Hold on, let me turn off my phone real quick. Yeah, there's just tons and tons, and you want to stand apart from all that. Not only that is I like 35 millimeter because you could put it up to your. I mean, if I look right here, this is what I'm seeing with my eyes. I put this lens up, and I've just got. You can just see the difference. It's just like a little bit. It's kind of. I don't know. It's just different than holding up like a 50 millimeter. And when you take the picture, you get a little bit more, and you'll get even more with the 31 limited. So. And you're saying, Lee, you're talking about all this, but you haven't shown us any image samples. I am sorry about that. And I will, I'll show you where you can see some image samples. I just sold the 31, and it like sold before I could do actually back-to-back. I did some back-to-back tests, but I didn't do anything seriously. I just had a couple hours to do them. So I did those, and I'll talk about sharpness next and how to get your autofocus to work correctly. But in the description below, I've linked two different Flickr groups, a 31 limited and a 35 Sigma Art series that have a ton more images than I could show you in one video. So you might want to check those out after if you're thinking about buying one of these lenses, and you could kind of look at the image quality there. But I'll tell you right now, both of them are really sharp, and you'll be pleased with either one of these lenses. I I sold the 31. I just I got the 35 Sigma, and I'll tell you why. The main things that I got, why I decided this over the other one, it is just the f1.4. It just makes everything boom, pop a little bit more. Like I said earlier, just 0.4 different, you know, aperture, but it just makes everything pop. If you like shooting wide open, this is probably a great lens for you. And also, I like the fact that it has a detachable hood and the balance here on the K1, even though it makes it kind of heavy. It's great. And that's why I decided to keep the 35 and let the 31 go. And now I guess I could talk about autofocus on both these lenses. I've seen people say that they weren't sharp wide open, and some of these reviews, I just don't know. The people, like, if you take this lens, they both have the same. It's like 1 foot from the sensor is their closest focusing distance. So if you're at one foot with a f1.4 or f1.8 lens, and you're holding this thing handheld, the 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 focus is like so shallow. It's like paper thin. You are not going to get. It's really hard to just nail it down. So, I mean, I'm going to have to show you how that's done. So, what you need to do if you're going to do that, it's still going to be hard. You won't put it on a tripod if you're getting trying to do something that close. I recommend for something to be out 3 feet or so, and then it'll be a little bit easier. But what you need to do is you need to set your autofocus and to spot. You see there, this is the K1 Mark II spot. So it's a single spot. And if you've never done that, you probably have if you have this camera. And I do this when I'm shooting at these wide open apertures like this that are under f2.8. It's you kind of have to do it. So yeah, so you got on spot focus. You just hit this button up here. I'm doing this backwards, and then you can move this focus wherever you want. If you're trying to do those 35 millimeter portraits, do that. Put that point. It illuminates in here if you've got it set up right, and just put that directly on their eye and shoot, and you'll get the focus nailed down. If you want to go back to the middle, all you do is hit OK. If you've never done that before, and then you could go hit that same button and go back to the regular thing if you want. So that's all you have to do. Both these lenses are sharp wide open. If I had to say one was sharper than the other one, the 35 is slightly sharper, but I mean, they're both like really, really sharp. So if you want a pixel peak or whatever peak, all that, 35 is sharper. So at wide open, but they're both extremely sharp. And like I said earlier, you're going to be happy with either one of these lenses. It's just, yeah, it's just what you prefer. So. Wanted to get the 31 Sigma Art Series soon for my K1 Mark II. Saw a good offer for a used one in mint condition for about 450 or euros or whatever. I'm guessing that's around 475 or 575 US. That's typically what I've seen them go for. I can't remember what I spent on this. I bought it a little while ago, but 575 in the States, a US dollar, seems kind of be the middle going ground. So yeah, that seems like a decent deal there. Oh, let's see. Those hardcore gear reviewers, Lee, they speak no necessarily photography, but especially and whatnot. Oh, okay. Any more questions about this Sigma Art or the 31 Limited? I'll move on if there's nothing else. or if you're watching this later, you could just ask a comment below. Panel 4. Hello, everybody. I'm from Canada. You just ordered the 35 millimeter macro instead of the Sigma Art. Was that a good choice? I assume so, because you're using it for a crop sensor camera, and I'm guessing a K3 or K70 or something like that. I would probably say that, because you're going to save some money, and that would be a pretty good choice there. That lens is extremely sharp. I don't know if you've seen my review on it, but and like I said, there's 2 Flickr groups below in the description that have K3. Yeah, good choice, good choice. And in case you were looking at the 30 millimeter f1.4 Sigma Art, I would definitely recommend that 35 millimeter macro over that 30 millimeter f1.4 Art as well. The 30 millimeter art series there, the purple fringings at f1.4 are just horrendous. I know you can get rid of them pretty easily, but yeah, just that macro is an excellent choice. Good choice. What was I gonna? I was gonna. Oh, okay. We'll move on. But I was gonna say the Flickr groups are below if you want to look at different image samples between the 31 and the Sigma there. Let's see. I was going to go through, I just glanced at Pentax forums to see if there was any news coming out or rumors coming out. And all I saw was this, if you saw it before, there's a K-mount, how do you say that? Meyer Optic Gorlitz 35 millimeter f2.2 lens for the K-mount series. And I'm not sure the price on this. I'm sure it'll be, yeah, they've got pre-orders already on B&H. Let's see, click on it, see how much it is. $900. I would say no thanks to that. Way overpriced. And just looking at it, oh, okay, it's a preset lens, so it's kind of like declicked aperture, which you can use for video, but as most of us in the Pentax world don't use our Pentax cameras for video, so they've got in all different mounts, Fuji and Micro Four Thirds and all that stuff. $900 though, and just looking at it, I'm not I don't have it in my hands, but the build quality doesn't look all that good. If anybody's got one of these before, I don't know if I've had one of these lenses. Let me know what you think about them, and if it is for video, why is the focus ring so small? Yeah, let's see what else they got. There was one other thing on here. Whoops, I went to Pentax forums for some reason. Yeah, it was a new Theta camera, right? The Theta, I hadn't owned one of those. Anybody have anything awesome to say about those? I've thought about buying one just to use to try it out, a 360 camera. Seems cool, but I'm a Android guy. Doesn't some of the Apple iPhones, don't they have a 360 view? This Ricoh Theta 10, Roman numeral 10, is $800. So, it's doing 6K, 5.7K, 360. So, yeah, I guess it's an improvement on what they've had in the past. Oh, and then, yeah, I saw this the other day. There's a new smartphone, Meizu 19 smartphone. I've never heard of that brand. Maybe it's an overseas brand, but they're putting Pentax lenses in that camera. So, in that smartphone. So that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I hadn't heard any information on new APS-C cameras for the Pentax being developed. I'm sure there's something going on, but I hadn't heard anything. It was funny that what did they say that they were gonna just concentrate on internet sales or whatnot. And then there was a rumor that went out, and then Pentax had said, no, we're not doing that. But it just sounded funny because it wasn't really big news to me, because I hadn't seen any. I don't have many camera stores around me. I guess they're bigger in Europe, but in other places. But they I have one that's close to me, and they have literally nothing. I wonder how they stay in business. I mean, they've got some tripods that are like $600 and some Nikon lenses, and it's just such a small store. So I don't, maybe they do some internet stuff, but they've been open for a while. So I think that's probably about it. I'm not going to keep this too long. I just wanted to talk about that. I should turn my phone off, shouldn't I? All right. Yeah, that's about it. So I'll be back with another Pentax live sometime. I just kind of do them spur of the moment, just because it's snowing outside and it's cold as hell. And I've been wanting to talk about the 31 versus the 35 for a long time. So I kind of do that. I recommend a 35 over for me, but you'll be happy with either one of them. If you want something smaller and lighter, I'd go with the 31. More landscapey, I would go with the 31. If you're looking for all around and you like shooting wide open, I would go with the Sigma. That's a quick summary of that. For my landscape, I still have the 24 f2 star lens that I'm using. I just like that 35 millimeter look over the 50 millimeter look. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. And if you're watching after the fact, these chats, there's not too many of them, but they show up like 12 hours after this video has ended. So thanks for watching, and I'll be coming. What am I coming up with next? I don't know. If you have a suggestion of what Pentax video I should come. Oh, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. Sorry, Tristan. You'll have to watch this back, because I know you were waiting for this video. The next the next video I'm going to do, I'm going to compare the kit lens, the 18 to 55, whatever it is, to the new DA Star PLM lens, a $40 lens versus a was it $1,400 lens, which are similar focal lengths, and we'll see just the difference there. Is it worth the extra, $1,400 to buy one of these big expensive lenses, or can you get, what can you get with the kit lens? So stay tuned for that. I hope to spend a little bit of time on that to make it a little bit better video than what I've been doing lately. So yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.